The next program is the Reinvention of the Bureau of Reclamation from the U.S. Department of the Interior. Daniel Beard, the Commissioner of the Bureau, will make the opening presentation. Barbara Sibley, the Director of Human Resources, will follow.
Thank you. Let me begin by telling you who we are and what we do. The Bureau of Reclamation is the largest wholesale water supply utility in the United States and the sixth largest electric power producer in the nation. We supply water to more than 40 million people and over 140,000 farms. We're involved in the management of every major river in the western United States, and we have developed a well-deserved international reputation for engineering excellence in the design and the construction and operation of large-scale water resource projects. And we have built and maintained such engineering marvels as Hoover, Shasta, and Grand Coulee dams.
By the early 1990s, we had become a New Deal bureaucracy in an email age. We were overstaffed, we were bureaucratic, we were unimaginative. We had wrapped ourselves up in paperwork. We were overly redundant reviews. Our workforce was top-heavy. We had a workforce that was aging rapidly. 1/3 of our workforce, for example, was 50 and over, and another 1/3 was between 40 and 50.
We had failed to change with our constituency and with the times. Public attitudes and opinions had changed, but we hadn't. Many people in our organization clung tenaciously to the dream that the glory days of dam building would return.
So we were out of date. We were out of work. We were out of touch. So how do you approach a problem like that? Well, we undertook an all-employee-led process to establish a new mission, to communicate with our employees and to our customers, to the overseers, and we restructured the agency to meet the new mission. Now, we did that. In the past 24 months, we've downsized, right-sized, refocused, empowered, delegated, reorganized every office in the Bureau of Reclamation. It hasn't been easy, it hasn't been pretty, and it hasn't been fun. But we felt that it was essential that we fulfill our obligations and our responsibilities under the law, and that we do so only with the minimum amount of taxpayer dollars. Today, we have 1,600 fewer employees than we had in May of 1993. Another 800 employees will be retiring on an agreed-upon date in the next year. Our budget has declined by more than $100 million. That's about 12% over the past 2 years. We've restructured and empowered our area offices. They now have the responsibility for day-to-day decisions. We've reduced our Denver installation, our largest concentration of employees, by 25%. It's now been transformed into a service organization, operating on a reimbursable basis. Our employees have been encouraged to reduce the overhead, reduce the time required to make decisions. We flattened our organizations. We eliminated at least 2 layers of management.
Your task is to reward creative problem solving in the public sector. What's unique about what we've done? Well, I can't recall another instance where a large, diverse, and decentralized government agency has been transformed so quickly. We examined the problem, designed the solutions, and implemented them within 15 months. We undertook this process in an open fashion. No report, no meeting was secret or unavailable to our employees. Every employee and the unions had an opportunity to participate, and most did. The process was undertaken despite being encumbered with a constant threat of political interference and the antiquated and I think oppressive requirements of federal personnel laws and regulations. Have we accomplished something unique? If we were in the private sector, the answer would be no. But we're a government agency, and we have done something that's very unique. We have shown that government agencies can be refocused to meet new missions, that you can downsize and restructure quickly without destroying morale and productivity, that you can create an atmosphere of trust and confidence in the ability of public servants, and that you can deliver services faster and more cost effectively by spending fewer dollars and using fewer people. We are, I think, an important symbol of what can be done and what all government agencies will be asked to do in the next decade. Thank you.
Barbara?
I'll try to be balanced in this question, but I happen to be an enthusiast. Everybody talks about reinventing and redesigning and reengineering and refocusing. The other re might be Reclamation, the Bureau of. For those of us who live in the West, and I think we have a different perspective to some degree on your department than do people who live in other parts of the nation. And it was the dam building, let's see, did I do that right?
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah, that's close. This is an updated mission, a systemic change, a dramatic cultural change in your organization. Take the next step for me, if you will, and tell me, in addition to the dramatic change, which I think is overwhelming, what you think you have done for the people of the 17 western states you serve and the people of the rest of the nation by the changes you've made.
Well, for the people of the 17 western states, we're going to be intimately involved in, we are intimately involved in the economic development and the welfare of those communities, because we are so heavily involved in the operation of every major river system in the West. And that's a foundation and a basis for the economy throughout the western United States. We're going to be delivering different services, better services, at cheaper cost and with fewer employees. That's of benefit. But I also think that we've started a number of partnership arrangements and other attempts to try to do it in a different way, do it a lot more sensitively. To the taxpayers, there's a tremendous benefit to the taxpayers. We've sent up budgets each year for the last 2 years that are $50 million less than the previous year. That's $100 million. Yesterday you had somebody say, remember the number 14. Well, I guess remember the number $100 million. I guess the important point to really stress is our problem is not unique. Every one of the government agencies that you've seen here and all the thousands of government agencies that are out there are being asked to do the same thing. And the question is, how do they do it? And we've managed to, we've made a tremendous amount of progress in trying to achieve our goal of transforming an agency, and we think we're an indication of what's to come.
Just one quick question. In the transformation of the Bureau, what about the morale within the Bureau?
Oh, it plummeted. Depends on where you were. There were winners and losers. The winners were happy. The losers were very unhappy. But I think our experience was that if you're open and you're honest about every bit of information and that there are no secrets, people are mad, they're disappointed, they're frustrated, the morale goes down. But they see an honesty in the process. And I don't know whether you want to comment.
We also have a very professional organization which is dedicated to public service. And so most of the people, while they didn't like some of the changes, decided to actually do the best they can with the changes. So we're very fortunate from that standpoint.
Dick?
For a number of years now, we've heard discussions regarding the use of the Great Lakes water to assist the West areas that. Where does that stand now with regards to your department?
It's a dead duck.
Okay.
Never going to happen. Mm-hmm. And it really raises the real reason why we had to change. The amount, there is among some people in government there is this myth that there's an unending supply of dollars available from their legislative bodies to carry out their activities. We've recognized that that's no longer the case. There are three things about the future that we can tell with 100% accuracy, and this is what we talk about in our agency. We're going to have fewer dollars, fewer people, and more work. How do we get the job done? And that's the real challenge for us as federal employees.
Two quick final questions, and the responses hopefully will be very brief. First, David, and then Tom.
Commissioner, is the Republican Congress on board with what you're doing?
This is going to be a strange answer. I'm a liberal Democrat. I'm a political appointee, and I'm retiring in in 30 days.
So you can say anything you want.
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
And please do.
I've sent up a budget that's $50 million less each year, and each year the Congress keeps adding money to my budget. And they've done it again this year.
That's for building.
For pork barrel, I would call it, I'm sorry, local projects in...
One quick final question, Tom.
You answered it, and I wanted to know what sort of congressional interference. Were there members who actually interfered with the changes you attempted to make with personnel?
Yeah, our reputation was so bad that I think anything that we proposed to do was seen as a positive benefit. I spent a lot of my time, and that was really my job, was to run interference in the Congress. And after some initial skepticism and disbelief that we would actually do anything,